The line between life and death is thinner than a heartbeat, and the hunters know exactly where it lies. To be a hunter is to fail again and again, and to rise and try once more. Strength alone is not enough. Out here, the patient outlasts the powerful. The morning stirs the whole land awake, patient and certain. The land rouses, and everything upon it turns to the work of the day. The day's long work begins, as it always has, with the waking of the world. Morning wakes the living gently, and the great cycle begins again. A soft commotion spreads across the world as the sleepers rise. Morning gathers the living and sets them gently back in motion. Rest is over. The land wakes, and the endless task of living starts again. The night's rest gives way to the day's long labor. Life returns to motion, and the quiet gives way to the day. The waking world hums softly, finding its rhythm once more. The hush breaks into movement, and the day comes alive. One creature stirs, then another, and the land remembers how to move. The world wakes to hunger and habit, and the ancient routine resumes. The stillness yields, and the ancient rhythm of the day resumes. The first stirrings of morning break the long stillness of the night. An animal that recognizes danger early may avoid a confrontation entirely. For prey animals, caution is woven into nearly every aspect of daily life. Even while feeding, they repeatedly lift their heads to scan the surroundings. A change in posture can pass through the herd like a silent message. The group responds as though it were a single living organism. Within seconds, calm animals may become ready to flee or defend themselves. Body position, movement, scent, and subtle sounds can carry vital information. For many species, the future depends on cooperation. But panic can also separate individuals from the safety of the herd. The bond between individuals is tested most severely when the herd is under pressure. The savannah may appear peaceful from a distance, but every animal is constantly responding to unseen pressures. Temperature, hunger, social rank, physical condition, and nearby threats all influence behavior. Often, the safest battle is the one that never begins. This coordination can confuse predators and protect weaker members. The savannah rewards awareness, timing, and restraint. The strongest members can become a living barrier against attack. Such moments reveal that survival is not always an individual struggle. In moments of danger, staying connected can be critical. Adults may position themselves between danger and the young. Communication does not always require a loud call. Sediment is moved, plants take root, and new channels slowly form. They carry moisture, nutrients, and life across great distances. Dominant animals may control the easiest or safest access points. Even when the current appears calm, the water is constantly reshaping the banks around it. At busy water sources, many species must tolerate one another at close range. Every rise and fall in water level creates new conditions for life. Together, they add variety to the savannah's wider ecosystem. Water softens the harshness of the landscape, but it also concentrates danger. The water may offer safety to some species and opportunity to others. Tension rises when space becomes limited. Visibility can be limited by reeds, mud, reflections, or steep banks. This temporary coexistence is built around a shared necessity. Approaching water often requires a careful balance between urgency and caution. Still water and flowing water support different communities. Animals approaching a water source often become more cautious. Most encounters remain peaceful as long as distance is respected. The need to drink can force them into exposed or crowded spaces. At the shoreline, every sound and movement carries greater importance. The edge of the water is never completely fixed. Thirst may push animals forward even when the surroundings feel uncertain. The need for water is stronger than the instinct to avoid every risk. Dry seasons reveal banks and sandbars that were previously hidden. A peaceful scene can change without warning. Rivers act as natural corridors through the savannah. Floods can redraw familiar boundaries in a matter of hours. The hunt is a conversation between predator and prey, carried on across the ages. They are the pruning hand of the wild, keeping it healthy and whole. The plain needs its hunters as much as it needs its rains. They are not the enemies of life, but among its keenest instruments. The loneliness of the hunter is the price of its independence. The hunters hold the wild in balance, delicate and unbreakable at once. They are locked forever in a dance that has shaped them both. The hunters and the hunted are bound together, each making the other what it is. Between hunter and hunted lies a bond older than the plain itself. Neither could exist without the other. Theirs is a single shared fate. They walk apart from the world, and the world lets them. The hunter shapes the herd, and the herd shapes the hunter, endlessly. Many of them walk the plain alone, and their solitude is their strength. Solitude is written into the lives of many of the hunters. In their solitude, the hunters find a freedom few others know. Remove the hunters, and the whole balance would come undone. Some of them are made for solitude, and they wear it well. They shape the very creatures they pursue, and both are the better for it. Predator and prey are two hands of the same ancient body. They are opposite ends of the same unbroken thread. Each has made the other swift and wary and strong. They are rivals and partners at once, bound by the oldest of laws. There is a loneliness in the hunters that never fully lifts. They carry the whole weight of survival on their own shoulders. The lone hunter needs no company but its own hunger. Termites, insects, fungi, and bacteria all contribute to the recycling of life. The cycle never truly stops. The smallest organisms help maintain the habitat of the largest animals. Nutrients pass from soil to grass, from grass to animals, and back to the earth. Leaves grow, roots spread, insects feed, and soil slowly shifts. By midday, the same terrain can seem bright, harsh, and unforgiving. The landscape seen today will not be identical tomorrow. In the late afternoon, long shadows reveal every rise and hollow in the ground. Time is always working across the plains. At sunset, the plains take on warm colors before fading into darkness. Each hour presents a different face of the savannah. The health of the plains depends on what happens both above and below ground. The changing light can transform ordinary grass into a dramatic landscape. Cool air settles across the open ground. Their work returns valuable material to the soil. living thing eventually becomes part of the land again. This is one of the savannah's quietest but most important connections. Night removes the familiar details and replaces them with sound and movement. Morning light gives the grasslands a soft and peaceful appearance. Under the stars, the plains remain alert and alive. Even in stillness, the grasslands are undergoing constant change. The darkness conceals distances that seemed clear during the day. Sounds travel through the night with unusual intensity. The grasslands continue their story long after the sun disappears. Many creatures become more active once the heat has passed. Their coats shine dully in the light, dust-worn and plain and perfect for hiding. The mother watches over her young with a devotion that never wavers. The young one wobbles on new legs, uncertain, and then, within moments, it stands. Barely arrived in the world, the newborn must already learn to run. The little one presses close to its mother's side, safe in her shadow. A young one nurses beneath its mother, tail flicking, wholly at peace. The young stay close, learning the world by watching those who made them. A calf tests its legs, stumbles, rises, and tries again. The newborn finds its feet in hours and its speed in days. The mother keeps her young ever at her flank, between it and the wide world. The little ones play in bursts of sudden energy, then collapse to rest. A young one gambols in clumsy circles, learning the joy of its own speed. A twitch, a turn, a lifted head, their bodies never fully rest. The newborn learns quickly, for the plain has no patience for the slow. The newborn takes its first steps on legs it does not yet trust. A calf shelters beneath its mother, small and safe against her warmth. The young follow wherever the herd leads, learning the ancient paths by heart. A little one bounds ahead, then races back to the safety of its mother. The young cluster near their mothers, a soft and watchful nursery on the move. They stand square and steady, senses spread wide across the land. New leaves unfurl with the water's return, soft and bright and new. Others spread wide canopies to capture sunlight and offer relief from the midday heat. The rains bring the trees to life, and the whole plain turns green beneath them. The wind carries the scent of the coming season across the open land. Scattered across the open plains, each tree creates a small world of shade, shelter, and life. A change is on the wind, and the trees seem to sense it first. The wind speaks of changes far away, and the plain waits for them to come. The air shifts, the scent changes, and the season begins to turn. Green returns to the trees with the rains, sudden and joyful. The trees drink deep when the rains come, and green explodes across their crowns. Across the African savannah, trees stand as quiet witnesses to the changing seasons. The trees flush with new growth, grateful for the rains at last. The wind gathers the scents of the plain and carries them for miles. The wind brings word of distant weather, and the land leans in to listen. A new smell rides the wind dust, giving way to the green of rain. The wind carries the season upon it, and all the land takes note. On the wind rides the promise of rain, or the memory of dust. With the water comes the green, and the trees remember how to bloom. A bird hangs motionless in the air, wings beating, holding its place against the wind. A bird banks sharply, turning on a wingtip quicker than the eye. A bird hovers like a held breath, then drops in a sudden rush. A bird races low across the plain, faster than any creature below. They hover in place, suspended, watching the ground below. A bird twists in mid-air, snatches its prize, and flies on. They fly with a speed and skill that no other creature can match. A bird holds itself still upon the wind, poised and waiting. A flash of wings, a sudden turn, and the bird is gone. They swerve and dive with reckless, joyful skill. They loop and swoop and climb, playing in the open air. They beat their wings furiously to hang, unmoving, in the empty air. They move through the sky like thought, quick and light and free. Suspended on the wind, they wait for the moment to fall upon their prey. They cut through the air at breathtaking speed, swift and sure. They wheel and dive and climb, playing upon the currents of the air. A sudden flick of the wings, and the bird changes course in an instant. They fly with a grace that makes the impossible look effortless. They dart between the branches, never once brushing a leaf. They roll and tumble through the air, masters of their element. This hour asks nothing of us but to stop and to watch. The air cools, the light lowers, and the world eases toward rest. The heat of the day gives way to a soft and cooling calm. The day surrenders itself gently to the coming dark. The last warmth of the day lies golden across the land. The day burns down to its last warm ember and lets go. The heat lifts and the air grows soft and mild. This is how the day says farewell, slowly and in gold. The fierce heat softens into a gentle, fading warmth. The day's warmth lingers, reluctant to depart. A gentle coolness creeps in as the warmth of the day recedes. The day's warmth drains slowly away, leaving gold and quiet behind. There is a beauty in this ending that words can barely hold. To watch the light go is to feel the whole day letting go with it. Something in us stirs at the sight of a sky turning to gold. The wild keeps no promises and breaks none. It simply carries on. The earth receives its own in silence and gives them back in green. Life passes through this world, like wind, through grass, briefly and beautifully. Every life leaves its mark, however faint, upon the memory of the world. We watched and we were changed, and the land remained exactly as it was. What we witnessed was not an ending, but a single turn of an endless wheel. Every path here leads onward, into another season, another life, another dawn. The land holds more patience than we will ever learn, and more peace than we will ever know. What endures here is not any single life, but the wonder of life itself. The story needs no ending, for it was never meant to close. Somewhere out there, the story is still unfolding, as it always will be.